Hi, here we are, my little candied yams. It's good to be here. My name is Fifi Dosh. You're watching Fifi Quest podcast, the only podcast broadcast to you from a series of spoken into a series of air bubbles frozen in the Antarctic shelf that will be released once the glacier melts and the bubbles release into the surface and pop with all the giant cloud of methane that will kill us all. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. You know, the giant methane. You know about that? The big methane bubbles in Antarctica that if it melts too much, they're just gonna come out and suffocate everyone. Now we'll just get I don't know. We can't make a big fan? Make a big fan and blow it into space. Tell me we can't make a space fan? I can take a phone, and point it in the air, and my phone knows what song it is. We can't make a space fan? Get positive. That's what I want to hear about the debates tomorrow. Which candidate has a plan for the space fan to blow the methane cloud away? Oh God, I didn't even want to talk about any of that, but God damn it, the first debate is today, when you're all hearing it, Tuesday. God, that's happening in a month, the election, huh? That's happening already. Well, look, here's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen, but at least we know it won't be stressful. Oh, no! It's just nothing good can come of it. Jeez, no. Ugh. I feel like the month up to the election is gonna be like when you're in a video game and you get to the end boss and it's a big difficult end boss and you're fighting him and you're fighting him and you're fighting him and then November 4th is the end of that boss fight. And let's just say you win. I think the month of November is going to be after you beat the boss, and then it's like, fuck you, you're not done. I'm going to transform into some bigger, more horrible boss. Beat this now, shithead. You know, in Hollow Knight, when he turns into the Radiance, November is the Radiance. I'm calling it. Look, this show's about positivity, thinking the best out of the world, and believing we can come through things on the other side, and learn that we can do it, and each of you can do it in your own lives, and we as humans combine through and make a lovely world. But, who's kidding who? November's gonna suck shit out of a sprinkler. Oh no. Well, you know what? That's a tomorrow problem. We're living today. We live one day at a time in the teen. In the pandy, as my friend has called it. My friend John Shevsky, who does a lovely little podcast called Fantasy House, where people come in and they talk about the house they would most want to have, the house of their dreams. If, sometimes it's plausible, sometimes it's fantastic. It's Fantasy House. It's a great podcast, John Shevsky. And, he's referring to the pandemic as the pandy. And, by the way, I feel like if you're hooking up with people, if you're having one-night stands from, Grindr or Tinder or whatever you do during COVID, I think we should be able to describe that as you're getting a handy in the pandy. Oh, boy. Hey, speaking of hand jobs, I've been thinking about Miss fucking J.K. Rowling lately, and look, Psychology 101 says that that bitch is for sure sucking lady dick out of truck stops. I mean, I say that gets revealed in, let's say, March, look, we can't agree on much, but can we agree on that in these trying times? It's basic Science! Oh, about Hannah with her. I don't even read about it. Yeah, screw it. Screw it, we're talking about it. But I just try to focus on things that, I try to focus on things that just make me happy and focus on the positive. But we're not all positive. We're not all meant to be all the time. And nobody's perfect, and we're not supposed to be. And you know what? Like one of my favorite authors says, God speaks through the satanic verses also. Ooh. And, yeah, so anyway, when I start thinking, when I can't help but think about J.K. Rowling and the wretched shit she says, you know what, because to tell you what, I was never a Harry Potter girl. I remember I got into a fight with my cousin Ross when I was, like a 12-year-old angry dude, and, I was super into Lord of the Rings, and he was super into Harry Potter, and I used to argue with him how Harry Potter sucks. Well, who's stupid now, Ross? J.R.R. Tolkien never had a problem with TERFs. I mean, he probably would have been an incel had he been born today, but, if and when and who and but. I'll tell you who definitely didn't have a problem with trans people is Frank Herbert, who wrote the Dune series. Because J.K. Rowling is all like, oh, you need to, biological sex is important, and Frank Herbert's just like, it's your divine right to transition into a half-human worm god. You wouldn't go up to Leto II to be like, you were born in Atreides. That's who you really are. It's like, no, I identify as Leto II, God Emperor of Dune. The spice must flow, bitch. Oh, boy. Yeah. When I get down about J.K. Rowling, I like to think of... By the way, if you haven't read Dune, you don't know what I'm talking about, but you should, because it's awesome. When I get down on J.K., when she pops into my feed or whatever, I just like to imagine, like, the Bene Gesserits from Dune walking up to Hermione and just, like, knocking the books out of her hands. Just the prom queen Bene Gesserits just fucking with her like they stuff her pigtails into the Gom Jabbar box. By the way, JK, seriously, even Orson Scott Card, who's like a weird Mormon fundamentalist proto-fascist, even he's like, life's too short to worry about this shit. So, anyway, doing pretty good. Having an okay day. Feel a little squirrely today, but, you know what? I used to be, when I'm having squirrely thoughts, I used to think that is who I am. How can I not be that? Now I think that's not who I am. I'm a beautiful, prosperous, imperfect, proud, happy, confident, positive woman. And those thoughts are just the noise going off. It's just like someone in your apartment is vacuuming. That's all it is. I'm not the vacuum. I'm not the guy leaf blowing every Monday morning in my neighborhood at 7:45 on the dot. Real Johnny Go-Getter, that guy. Can I just say, I don't know how many of you live in California, but we're obsessed with fucking leaf blowers in this state. Use a broom, everybody. They're quiet. It sweeps into the street. It doesn't make a big loud frickin' noise. What happened with the broom? You know you could use a broom. You all know it. You just want a big noisy toy, don't you? Just admit it. Admit it! Jeez, I don't know. You know what I might do real quick, you guys? I might, I feel a little off-centered. Usually when I'm very like, blah, 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 joke, it's because I kind of want to deflect from my center. Because I'm afraid to be vulnerable and present. So what I think I'm going to do right now, if you guys want to join me, I'm just going to take a moment and really feel what's going inside of me. And just breathe in my best self and realize there's no separation between me and my best self. I'm going to feel really feminine and Feel like it's okay to be who I really am. And it's safe to be vulnerable. Alright. That's better. That feels good. Hope you guys did something like that too, because I feel a lot better right now. I feel a lot more centered. I feel a lot more good. I feel like more good. I don't feel like I started the first 10 minutes of this podcast like I've really got something to prove or something to hide from, which is kind of the same thing. And to me. And now I don't really feel that way. I feel just comfortable sitting here with you, sitting here with me, feeling intimate with myself. Yeah. You know what? Since I just took a little moment to get more intimate with myself, I think what better time could there be than to share an intimate moment with you? I kind of want to talk a little bit more about sex and intimacy. How, that's changed for me lately. I have not, oh jeez, my hair. I gotta get a, you look, I don't know if my hair is really long enough to cut into anything cute yet, but I got a very, very good friend who's a hairdresser, who's doing speakeasy-ass haircuts these days, and, I think I might hit him up and see if there's anything to do, because it's getting I'm getting some length. Maybe there's something cute to do with it. Oh, another thing I decided, I think sooner rather than later, maybe even by first half of next year, I think I'm going to go in for hairline restoration surgery. I've talked about how I feel self-conscious about my hair, and yeah, I like my looks that I do with my headbands. I think they're cute. But I do feel like I'm hiding something, and bottom line is I can do my hair in a way that makes me feel cute and good. But I'm worthy of a procedure like that because my feeling good about how I look and how I feel and how confident I feel, that is important to me now, and that's worthwhile. It used to be I'd be like, it's too much money, I don't need that, and secretly I'm like, well, you feeling confident in your body and how you look isn't important enough. That's what you really believe, Fifi, and I don't believe that anymore, not one bit. So think I'm gonna do that. My health insurance, my health insurance has great people who do that, which, by the way, I'll share this. I don't know, I presume I have some trans fans who listen. I don't know what health insurance you guys are dealing with, but I have Kaiser Permanente, which is not in every state. It's in California, Colorado, I want to say maybe 15, 20 more. And I chose them just because they were the cheapest at the time when I needed a health insurance plan. And they are great about trans stuff. They're super easy. They have so many resources. They pay for a ton of it. It's awesome for trans people. I'm really, really pleased with how they're doing things. My friend Galen, she got bottom surgery with a guy in Arizona who's in their network. They flew that bitch out, put her up in a hotel and then pay for the consultation. They flew her to Arizona That's a 6-hour drive. I'd have driven it. So yeah, they're good. If you're curious, I'm liking my experience so far. Now, granted, I have to do some larger. I have to do some rather larger procedures in the whole thing that are a little more involved, so maybe I'm speaking too early, but so far it's been awesome and they've been super helpful. And my friend Galen, she got her bottom surgery under that, and she tells me her vag is just swell. So that's how trans women have to define their new vaginas with 1950s slang. They're like, oh, Billy, I just got the keyless box in all of Riverdale. Oh, gee, Jimmy, they turned my penis inside out so well it'll be like they drove your hot rod through it. Da-da-da-da-da, grease lightning. Yeah. So, that's going on. That's what I'm up to. And, I've talked about this a little bit before too, but I'm just trying to report on what's going on in my week by week. Work stuff is going a lot better. I am up for a writing job for a show on HBO Max, which I feel really, really good about. And I don't know what will or will not happen, but here's what I do know. What I think I will, whether or not I get hired on this particular show, what I think will happen as a result of getting that job, I know will happen. Because why do I just want the job? Not really. What I really want is I want the job so I can be prosperous, so I can earn and work for money in a way that uses my talents creatively, and I get to be funny and use my talent for humor in a way that's of service, and I get to be prosperous and fulfilled and all those wonderful things. Whether or not I get this job, that will happen. I remember one time, I think it was last year, I was really struggling with money and I needed to get a day job, and I was up for some little job somewhere with a corporate place, actually, who I had temped for, and they really liked me and they wanted to give me the job, but because I worked for them as a temp, they have a corporate rule that said they couldn't rehire someone after they terminated them within 6 months, so they wouldn't give me the job. And I was like, are you guys screwing with me? Are you just trying to tell me you don't like me? This seems like insane, corporate, ridiculous red tape. Surely there's a way to bypass this. And I remember talking to people, be like, look, this is just too... And I needed the money at the time, for sure. And I remember the time just thinking, like, look, I don't know why this happened, but it must have needed to happen for me, and there must be something better coming, because this is just too weird. And that's exactly what happened. I ended up with another day job that was way more flexible, way more prosperous, way more fun. And you know what? Now I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm worthy of more. This is, I'm grateful for that job, grateful for the guy I work for, grateful for the money it brings in, but it is, not in alignment with my current level of self-worth from what I feel right now. And that's a huge shift for me, because I had none of that when I would try to go out for jobs before. And, I just don't have the dubious luxury of feeling terrible about myself and being able to bring in money. Oh dear. I'm glad that I don't, because if I did, I would. When the universe is telling me, Fifi, you really, really gotta feel good and take it easy and love yourself before you can make millions of dollars. Aw, shucks, you guys. So that's what's up. Feels good. And you know what? I wrote a pilot about my experience coming out as a trans woman during COVID and during all the sex scandals in the stand-up comedy world, and I just posted it online and I said, hey, I got this script. If anyone wants to read it, I'd be happy to send it out to you. About 30 people hit me up right away. And they're like, yeah, hell yeah, Fifi, I want to read that. And a lot of people, I emailed it to them. They opened the email, they read it, and they went immediately from getting the email, opening the email, reading the script, and emailing me back that they loved it. That happened about 5 times. So I'm feeling really, really wanted and really, really valued and really, really like I got something to give. And it'd be good that I give it because it's valuable to people. So, feeling that. I'm feeling like more people are going to listen to this podcast, Feeling like it's, I'm really grateful for all the listeners I have. I feel like podcasting is a thing people do. Reaching a lot of people and having something valuable to say is a thing people do, and I'm a person among people. That's how I feel today. So, yeah. Gosh, you know what? I feel like, because I'm kind of looking at myself in, as I record this, I feel like I've kind of straightened up and gotten a more feminine posture. Kind of in the course of doing this and feeling better. I really love this podcast, you guys. Thanks so much for hearing it. It's so helpful to me. Really helping me realign my thoughts and who I do and who I want to be. And, stand-up comedy was kind of that for me for a while until it, very wasn't. And now Fifi Quest is becoming that because it's like me performing stand-up used to be whatever I want to do. And the process of doing that made me realize I put a lot of boundaries around myself. And put so many around me that even that medium I was exploring that in itself became a boundary. So I left it. And now this podcast is when I'm really wondering, like, who am I and who do I want to be? Who is my real self inside? I do a Fifi Quest, and it's really, really, really helpful to help me figure that out. So, really grateful you guys listened to it. Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, hey, I've been talking about this a lot. I'm on podcasts, but I'm so damn glad I don't have to do stand-up anymore. Oh, my God, you guys. I mean, it was just 10 years of... That was my life, and, I don't want to shit on it because... I don't want to be that kind of person who, I don't want to be like the girl who can't break up with a guy without turning it into a massive crisis and demonizing him. I don't want to do that with stand-up, It served my purposes, now it very does not, and that's okay. And anyone whose purposes it does service, good. I hope that it helps you out, I hope you get what you need, and I hope it fulfills your life, but that was just not me, because here's the thing, I've been on Instagram lately, and, until they were doing a lot of shows at the Comedy Store for a while. Until Comrade Newsom and the Fun Stutzy put the kibosh on that. But people were starting to promote their shows again. And it used to be, you guys, I would see people online promote their shows and I would just ache. I'd be like, oh my God, I need to do more. Why aren't I booked on that? How do I get booked on that? I'm not enough. I need to prove myself. I need to get on just as many shows as whoever this is to prove that I'm worthy and okay. And now I'm seeing these posts and I'm like, I really don't care about any of this. Good for you. Do your thing. I don't want to be there. I'm going to do my thing. I see one of those posts. I'm like, let me scroll down to see a girl in a floppy hat in a canoe, or another post about, decorated bread cornucopias. And that gets me excited. So, by the way, I know I've been a little lax on if you follow me on Instagram, I know I've been a little lax on the nature photos lately, but, yeah, I think I might go to Sedona in November, I think. So be on the lookout for some of that. And, By the way, I got a little bit of an anecdote to share before I wrap up. Fellow trans people who listen to this, I got a question for you. Have you ever been out in public and you see another trans woman and you give them like a nod or like a wave or a little acknowledgement of you, like, hey girl, I'm a trans girl too, I see you, good to see you. And turns out they aren't. Ooh, boy. That's uncomfortable, because if they're just kind of, if they're just kind of like taken aback by your over friendliness, and I mean that's you really gotta shimmy and shake to get out to find the social niceties of that one. Oh boy, because they're just like, oh yeah, why are you saying hi to me? Oh, no reason at all. It's just a nice day, right? And then you just hope they don't figure it out. But then if you do, you gotta have a backup plan, because if they give you any are you implying that I'm a trans woman when I'm not? And then I gotta be like, are you implying there's something wrong with that? And then you're just playing progressive judo with people. Oh man. So I don't know, guys, I think that might be the episode. I think so. I went and got myself a thing of candy corn today. Gonna go enjoy some of that. Which, by the way, to all you haters out there hating on candy corn, what's your problem? People are like, hey, you love candy corn? Yeah, I do. It's good. It's a good treat. Like, what? It's just sugar. Yeah, it's just sugar. Is that a problem? You got a problem with sugar there, character? The greatest thing in the goddamn world? I remember one time I was talking to my grandpa, who grew up during the goddamn Depression in South Dakota, and this is a time when I drank, and I remember saying something like, I don't like that beer, it's not very good. And he looked at me and he said, is it beer? And I said, yeah. He goes, then it's good. Beer is good. And I know, you know what? I never forgot that. If it's a good thing, it's good. Anyway, I think that's the podcast for today, you guys. This is fun. Love doing this. Love being available to you. And you know what? I'm going to visualize sending this out to the universe and reaching a lot of people. Hey, all you guys who checked me out on This Is Rad, I was on Kyle Clark's podcast, This Is Rad, recently. It's where he picks a cool thing to fan out on for 3-4 hours. And I did an episode about The Sopranos on This Is Rad. I highly recommend you check that out. I'm on John Shefty's Fantasy House. I think he's putting that out this week. It's going to be coming out shortly. That was a lovely podcast. I talk about my goat ranch and my fancy bathtub I want in my fantasy house. Those are wonderful podcasts. You should give them a subscription. And as always, if you want to email me, the email is fifiquestpodcast@gmail.com. If you could like and subscribe and rate this, and I would really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to take a second to just feel this reaching a lot of people and being something that's of value to them. And that way I can feel like I'm of value. Hell yeah. I suggest you do the same. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not here to boss nobody around. It's just me to be here and share what's up with me. So, alright. So I guess that might be it, everybody. I love you, my little decorative Thanksgiving displays. Bye.